Hey everyone, welcome to The Outlet. I'm your host, Kayla Lewini, and today I wanted to answer a few questions in regards to therapy and how did I find my therapist and so on and so forth. So first thing I want to point out to everyone is that I personally am biased when it comes to therapy. I feel as though everyone should have therapy, or everyone should, have a therapist or go to therapy. I feel as though it's very important, even if you feel like you don't need it. That's number one sign that you need it. You probably do need help, even if you think you don't. It's like you'll be surprised how the littlest things actually do affect us and shape and mold the way that we view the world. Everyone has their own little set of cards. How everyone was given a certain deck of cards. Can't even speak, but you guys get the gist. Like, everyone was given a deck of cards, and we're doing life the best way that we can. And sometimes the best way that we can, sometimes isn't the right way, if that makes sense. So that's why we need a therapist to guide us. And you don't only need a therapist if you are suffering from depression or have gone through some traumatic experiences. Therapy is for any and everyone. If you feel as though you need a therapist, get one. I'm super biased when it comes to that, partially because I am a psych major. So I'm just like, if everyone would just take a few psychology classes, if everyone would have a therapist, I promise you, I feel like life would just be better. Not that it would be perfect, but I feel like we'd be much more understanding people as just the human race. I feel like we'd be way easier to deal with as people, if that makes sense. I feel like therapy is definitely the start of a healing journey, for sure. It's a safe place to vent to somebody confidentially, if that's the word. Therapy is a safe place. It's not limited to anyone, and there are several kinds of therapists or psychologists. They just guide you. They guide you through life. They guide you through your issues. They guide you through the things that you're dealing with, and they kind of help you. Someone asked me on Instagram if I was looking for a Christian counselor, or how did I go about that, being that I am a follower of Christ. They wanted to know, like, how did I do it? Did I go the secular way, or did I go the Christian way? To be honest, I wasn't really looking for a Christian counselor. I was not, because if someone told me, Kayla, just pray your problems away one more time, I was going to be upset. I was tired of hearing that, because yes, we do serve a good God, and it's good to pray, and it's good to ask God, and come to God about certain things. At the same time, we do live on earth. We do live in a physical world where we need to practically deal with situations that we've gone through. And God didn't place these people, psychologists, therapists, psychiatrists, I know all these kind of people on this earth for no reason. And as much as a lot of people actually have issues with therapy, there's a really big stigma with therapy, especially in the Black community, or just the color community in general. If you have a therapist, it's just like, oh my gosh, you must be crazy, something must be going on. But it's like, no, I need therapy so that I can be my most healed version, if that makes sense. They definitely help you find yourself, patterns within yourself where you feel as though you don't even know why you do certain things. And sometimes, believe it or not, our brain is very powerful. Our mind is a very powerful thing. And when something is so traumatic to the point where we don't want to deal with it, our brain will literally forget it on purpose. And then, even though we forget it, because the way that our brain works, it presets itself to view life as if you are living through that trauma, if that makes sense. So I'm going to try to explain it in a better way. So we all have, I like to explain it this way. We all have a lens. We all wear glasses. We all have our eyes, for instance. Our eyes see the world through our hurt, trauma, or our experiences. How we've been brought up, how we've lived our life, what we've gone through, what we've encountered. All of that basically shapes the way that we view the world. And this is why communication in any way, shape, or form is really key to any success in any relationship, whether it be a relationship with, a significant other, your siblings, your parents, your friends, just co-workers. Communication is key, because we hear things or we see things through our experiences, through what we've experienced, and it is biased. We all have a biased view of life based on what we've gone through. So I was not looking for a Christian therapist at all, because I was like, honestly, I need practical ways of dealing with this situation. And I was like, I've prayed before. I've prayed to God. I've asked God to heal me. And at some point, we need to take action. It can't just be praying, but we need to make actual steps to get better, if that makes sense. How did I find my therapist? I asked around for different people. I asked different people if they knew any therapists or if they knew any companies. I was suggested this one company, and I was gifted with my personal therapist, which I absolutely love her. She's the best therapist ever. The journey to finding a therapist is not going to be easy, that's for sure. I'm just going to put that out there very blatantly. It's not easy, and we must not be afraid to, you know, realize that a certain therapist is not working for us. So if you find that this one person is it's not a good fit, you guys aren't, you know, mixing together, it's fine. You can definitely voice that, and you can be, you know, find another one and switch to a different therapist. Luckily, on my first try, I did find a therapist that I was very, you know, close with, and I liked her off rip. Off rip, I liked her from the jump. I was just like, yeah, no, this one, she's it. And it's honestly your personal opinion, like your personal take on it. Like, what are you looking for in a therapist? Are you looking for someone who is going to, you know, be really gentle and just listen? And honestly, they all have the same basic training, but at the end of the day, every therapist has their specific way of dealing or handling situations. There are that's a topic for another day as well too. There are different ways of going about therapy. The specific therapy that I've been doing or going through per se is cognitive behavior therapy. So talking about the behavior, finding ways to either help the behavior, what's that thing called? We remake those pathways in our brain, because essentially we do create pathways in our brain, and certain mechanisms we learn as we get older is honestly to defend ourselves. The way that we live our life, anything that we do, without, even as selfish as it sounds, we do live our life with our best interests at heart. And our brain, without realizing, with our trauma, will signal off when sometimes there was nothing to signal off for, if that makes sense. But definitely be patient with the therapy process. It's not going to be like, I was one of the luckiest people to, you know, find a therapist on the first try and be like, this is it, like this is the person I'm going to stick with. And it doesn't happen like that for a lot of people. Sometimes you have to try again, and you can't give up. And honestly, like I said, patience with therapy, definitely patience. And I'm not going to say that therapy is easy either, because there are some things sometimes your therapist is going to tell you about yourself and you're going to be like, I really didn't want to hear that, but that's the truth. And you kind of have to just deal with it. And healing, woo, healing, boy, ain't easy. It's not easy. That's another topic as well, the healing journey, my goodness. And the healing journey, as you can see, I'm stressed already talking about it. The healing journey is like, wow, I am shocked myself, and I had to learn to fall in love with deep healing. And I do. Sometimes I intentionally dig deep into my own self to like try to figure out what's going on, just so that I can, you know, go through that process of healing, if that makes sense. As sick as it sounds, you know. But definitely consider therapy. You need help. That's gonna be the outlet's slogan. Definitely consider therapy because you need help. But yes, so basically I am coming from a personal perspective. This is my personal experience. Disclaimer, I am not a psychologist yet. I am not a registered behavioral technician. So what I'm speaking from is from knowledge. It's from what I've been taught in school, and also what I've learned from my own personal you know, therapy sessions, and also what I just research on my own, because I like to do research and I like to watch different things that educate myself about other people. So another person asked me, what is therapy like? And quite honestly, right now I do therapy both via Zoom and in person, depending on what my schedule looks like with my therapist. That's what we do, or like whatever she has available, or if she's in the office already with two other clients, then I'll be able to go see her in person. But we do both via Zoom and via in person. And people who are still afraid of, you know, the pandemic, or people who just prefer to do via Zoom, that option is still very well alive. I think that's going to be something that will continue forever, the Zoom option. But when it's on Zoom and therapy in person, it's the same. I think it's the same thing, honestly. The dynamic is different because it is face-to-face, so I feel that genuine connection with my therapist face-to-face, and I feel like she is able to hear me clearly. I don't have, you know, Wi-Fi problems, disconnection issues. There's other outlying, you know, factors that aren't going to be present during a face-to-face session, whereas on Zoom there are other things that, you know, distract me. Like if I usually sit in my car and do therapy if I'm on Zoom, so like I would see something outside and pass by, or my family's passing by, they're trying to talk to me literally through the car window. I like to call it a safe place. This is where I can express myself freely. This is where I get the chance to unload the package, unload the baggage, unload the pain, the damage. Yo, I should be a rapper, but unload everything that you feel as though is, you know, on your chest. And it's a safe place because you can really confide in your therapist. If they are a true real therapist, they will be trustworthy, and they will not do you green and do you dirty. Your business will not be out in the streets, I promise. People will not know what you said about X, Y, and Z, or what you said about so and so, or what you said about Ricky and Dickie and Funny. Like, they're not gonna know. But it's very much a safe place. That's what I like to call it, a safe place. And me and my therapist, we exchange like stories, experiences. She tells me about her life, because, you know, at the end of the day, they are also speaking and giving advice, not just from an educational point of view, but also from experience, from what they've gone through. And my therapist is very much older, so she comes with wisdom and knowledge that I myself am not able to come up with. One I guess misconception of therapy is that you have to have a problem, or that you have to be suffering of some kind of like issue, whether it be depression and anxiety and, you know, whatever the case may be. But the truth is, even if you're looking for just, you know, to be a better person, to heal through little things, even if you want to just find better healthy habits, therapy, that's fine. Talk about it with your therapist, and you'll be surprised the amount of things that you unload in a therapy session. It's crazy. The smallest thing that you say will literally be the literally motivating operation of so many things in your life. It's crazy. So I definitely suggest it for everyone. I sound biased. I sound like a re-recording what's that thing called, re-recording commercial. You know, I'm like an advocate for therapy. And no, seriously, like I just, therapy is amazing. It's very open. I always come with something, and my therapist specifically, she gives me homework back, so she sends me videos, whether it's supposed for me to watch a video or spend some time by myself. Yeah, she definitely creates that open space for me too. She definitely plays a big role as well, but she creates that open space. She creates that open, welcoming spirit as well. And you have to want to get help. You also have to want to be better, want to get better. Your therapist can tell you all the things that you need to do, or not even that, because they don't even tell you what you need to do. They just advise or guide your thoughts, and you kind of just figure it out yourself. And they can do all that. And if you don't want to get better, you don't want to see it, therapy's not for you. You don't want to get better, you want to stay the way you are, you want to stay bitter, angry, resentful, you want to be like that, yo, click out this video. Just stop right here. Don't even like, you know, just click out the video. But if you are willing to work on yourself, and you're willing to love yourself enough to work on yourself, to be a better human, not just for others, but for you, then I'd say do it, consider it. Even if you don't, you know, have you know, the means, because therapy is expensive. You know, it is expensive, I'm not gonna lie. But if you don't have the means to do it, at least there's certain things that you can do. Watch videos, educate yourself on childhood trauma, educate yourself on attachment styles, whether you were a secured attachment, whatever the case may be with your parents, because that also plays a big role in how we grow up to be. Without even, like, the first, I want to say 5 years of your life literally are set up this foundation for how you're going to be when you're an adult. And if it's not set up in a good way, not even to knock off any parents, because I'm sure they're going through a lot of things as well, but this sets up how you're going to be when you get older. Everyone asked me in regards to therapy, so I was like, let me just dedicate an episode where I talk about therapy, why is it good, why to do it, why to consider it, and stuff like that. I definitely do think that everyone should do it, for sure, most definitely. I'm a diehard fan for therapy. I will forever do therapy, and I cannot wait to become a therapist, clinical psychologist to be exact, so that I can help others and be there for others. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Don't forget to follow The Outlet Talk on Instagram. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at KXYRenee. And guys, I'll see you in for the next episode. We'll talk a little bit more about digging deep and how to, you know, question and how to ask ourselves different things and dig deep. So stay tuned. Don't forget to watch the episodes. And if you haven't watched the other episodes already, I did talks on balance, I did talks on choosing you, I did talks on pet peeves and red flags. If you haven't watched it, you missing out, bro. You missing out. But thank you guys for stopping by. Bye.